All right, boom. Here we are. First live of 2022. Feels good. Haven't been live since last year. Crazy to say. Ooh,
Yeah.
get this going, get this shared. Real bozo hours. What's up, Kevin? What's up, Tommy?
Oh, we got wealth of wealth. What's good? This boy's wild out here. Kevin, we always bozo hours. Ground turkey and veggies.
The use.
What's up, yo? Been watching all your team's vids and helped me so much finish my first month. Amazing. Good work, Cameron. I'm glad stuff's working out well for you. As always, any questions you guys have, let us know. But hopefully now that we're settled in, I'm home from vacation. We're doing a lot of these.
Yeah. Now that it's cold outside.
AI says, if I buy your leads list, can you help me get ungated? I will help you get ungated either way. As well as you're probably already in the free group as well. So you can check the ungating section. There'll be a lot of info in there. But either way, just ask away in here and I'll let you know.
Yeah, we can help you right now.
How to get ungated in different things.
How do I source OA better without TA?
So you use TA and find items and then reverse search those items. But Kevin, you're already making money and everything, totally. So I would learn to use TA, learn to use tactical expander with it. And then eventually you'll start finding evergreen stuff and you can reverse engineer that. But Garrett and I used a lot of TA at the start, like 10 months ago. Found a killer deal at Costco. Good stuff. Any recommendations for Ungate for Olay? Wow, brand specifically, I'm not sure. Assuming you already have Beauty Ungated, which is what I'm pretty sure Olay is. Maybe message their brand, see if you can buy some stuff wholesale from them or get it.
What is Olay? Is that
a beauty? I'm pretty sure it's a beauty product, but I've never heard of people selling that, so that might be an IP complaint brand. I'm not sure
though. Yeah.
What's a good budget to have to buy your leads? If you're thinking about budgeting on stuff, I wouldn't recommend like buying stuff from us. Just focus on finding stuff at your own to build up capital and build up confidence with everything. Leads list are more specifically for advanced sellers, I would say. And obviously, I'm not incentivized to tell you not to buy your stuff, so that's the real answer, definitely. Seller amp, reverse searching storefronts. Yeah, reverse search storefronts is a great method. Dan, what's up? Happy New Year.
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I haven't seen, I guess we haven't done one of these in a while, but I was going to say I haven't seen it in a while.
It's been, I think it was before Christmas. How do I buy your leads list? So be in the Discord and look out on your notifications. They always sell out very quickly. Occasionally renewals come up, but they're in the Discord. It's like the OA leads list section, but you'll see in announcements and in your email when a new one's coming out, which Warner and I should have a new one this January for the first time in like 3 months. I think October was our last one. But they sell out in less than 5 minutes on the drop, and there's high retention. So it's always good to, when there is a new one, that's your best chance to get in. 34 sellers, found a killer. Oh, so that it's probably moving quick though. Like if there's that many sellers, there's a good chance it sells really quick. And another tip on that, you can check when you have Keepa, you can look at the list of sellers and see how many they have in stock. Oftentimes, a lot of people only have 1 or 2. So the number of sellers isn't super important. It's more about the amount per sale.
Yeah.
Okay, good question. Tommy asked, Garrett, how long if you start until you got started with wholesale?
I mean, probably within a year, for sure. Once we developed some equity in the business, had some cash there, obviously had the confidence and the knowledge to start placing those bigger orders. We tried to scale up the purchase orders because it's just so much easier to purchase larger quantities of orders with wholesale, right? Rather than trying to go through retail sites. When you're trying to do bigger numbers, it just makes it a lot easier to go with wholesale.
Okay, Eric, suppliers are sites to get ungated in health and beauty products. So you can use Katy, Texas Wholesale. I'll put that in the chat. Katy, Texas Wholesale. And what's the other one?
Well, Frontier has health.
Yes, that was it. Yeah, Frontier Co-op.
I don't know how many. I know they have Burt's Bees, which is a good one, but just for starters, you can get ungated in the category.
Did you say there's good retention on your leads list? Yeah, I forgot the exact, but I'm pretty sure the last renewal, like
I thought you're over 80%.
27 over out of 30 renewed. I'm pretty sure. And we limit them, so that obviously creates exclusivity to the leads on there. How much is enough to start an arbitrage FBA business? Typically like to say, obviously, the more you start with, it's easier. But I also don't want you to overcommit and end up not liking it. But between $200 and $500 is very good, in my opinion. Larry, my man, killing it with the books. I see in the Discord daily. Good to have you in here, Larry. What's a good site to discover a good prep center? So based on your last question, which was how much is enough to start, I would not worry about prep centers at all right now. I would worry about getting your first $1,000 in sales. That's just being honest. Otherwise, start out with Google. Talk to any other sellers you know, and I'm sure some stuff will come up.
That's another purely honest answer because we own our own prep center, right?
Yeah, so it's just we have a high unit minimum and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, once again, definitely do your own stuff at the start just to get proof of concept. I had a consultation with a guy earlier who was asking about that, but he also wasn't, in my opinion, at the point where he should go ahead and do that. So I just told him just keep prepping your own stuff for now, as it's just more important to get more sales through before you start worrying about that. When should I start using a prep center? Once you're making I'd say over a few $1,000 a month, in sales or profit, obviously. But if you're paying sales tax on the stuff you're ordering as quick as possible, once you're actually making money and everything.
Or if you're just super busy, right? If you potentially work a full-time job, you don't have the time, or if you have a family that you're trying to balance and juggle all these things with, that would potentially be another reason to get into it, just from a time savings perspective.
I'm outside of the U.S. Well, that's why I need a prep center. What's a good practice? Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah, it's going to be tough, I think, as a beginner to find one, but I'm away. Just because a lot of them have unit minimums, but once again, I can't speak for everywhere. Jeremy, what's up? Haven't been on a live stream forever. Well, Jay, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Kevin says, Kevin, where you live down south, right? What's the sales tax in your state?
Yeah, Kevin lives in Georgia, and I'm pretty sure they do have sales tax.
So we don't really know anyone that sells and buys from Alibaba. Yeah, that's more in the PL space, right? So if
so how does
rebrand a product, that's where a lot of people go to Alibaba for.
Yeah. So basically, kind of two sections of Amazon: arbitrage and private label. Private label is the more Alibaba type of stuff, because on Alibaba you're buying unbranded products, and when you're selling them on Amazon, you're creating demand by running ads and essentially making your own brand. What Garrett and I do is we sell name brand stuff like Hasbro, Mattel, Star Wars, that kind of stuff that people already know and search for. We buy those products from retail stores and wholesale distributors in Garrett's case and sell those on Amazon. Both are great models. Neither one is better than the other. Just kind of what you decide to go after. And they're definitely not mutually exclusive either.
What's a good per unit cost for a single item at a prep center? So we priced ours pretty much with the market. You're not really going to find anyone that's charging less than $1.50, $1.75.
And if they are, they probably have a high unit minimum. But obviously, I mean, dig around. We have a 500 unit minimum, so I know that might not work for a lot of you guys. And we're in Delaware, being no sales tax on everything, I'm pretty sure. What camera and mic do y'all use for Buy Box Bandits? So I have a G7 Canon G7X Mark III, I think, which I haven't really been using for BBB yet, more so for just like micro content.
Reels, yeah.
And then I don't know what the mics we have are, but they're nice. They're pretty expensive.
That's a Danny question. He said
Yeah,
all the
but
technology stuff.
There's 44 of you watching. If you haven't already checked out the podcast, you definitely should. It's called the Buy Box Bandits. We post twice a week. In my humble opinion, the best Amazon podcast, but you know, that's up to you guys to decide. How do you get over the hump of actually taking the steps to list your first product? You decide, you accept the fact that you're not going to make any money if you don't sell any items. And if you want to make money, you have to sell items, and you should just do it. It's not that scary. I promise.
What's it called? Analysis paralysis, or what's
something like that? Yeah, but absolutely. I mean, that's something we all suffer from in a way. I think
my first wholesale test order or shipment today, 100 units grocery.
Ooh,
browse unit, 29 rank, consistently year round, moving from. All right, that's good stuff.
That is very good. I'm glad you found that. What's a good monthly ROI to target? At the start, I would shoot for around 40%, and that will go lower as you scale, just based on it being, you know, you having more capital that you can go lower and still be very profitable.
And that just comes from and starting out, you're naturally not going to have as much purchasing power. So you want to value each of those dollars so much more than if you've been in business a couple of years, right? You have potentially a lot more money to spend. So you could take a lot less of a margin, because in the long term, your opportunity cost for turning away those lesser items would be more severe rather than if that makes any sense. You guys ever tried drop shipping now?
Yeah, I have, very unsuccessfully, and I didn't really commit to it last year, but yeah, definitely a little bit. I did get a couple sales, which is cool, but obviously not profitable.
What's up, y'all? Late to the party. Emin Hollow.
That would be drop shipping, not on Amazon. It was Shopify.
Yeah.
What's a good ROI for wholesale? So the profit per unit, that's obviously completely different from ROI. But yeah, I mean, if you're paying like $15 for something, making 3 is very good, just percentage wise, especially if you can do that hundreds of times and everything. So I tend to focus more on ROI. I obviously won't go lower than like $4 profit. But I mean, then again, if you're buying something for $1 and getting 3 back, like that's pretty good. I feel like that's rare.
A lot of the big wholesale sellers go by gross margin rather than ROI too, right? Because some of the purchase prices on the retail prices on the wholesale orders are going to be lower, right? So potentially $10, $15 per sale, right? So what you're mainly concerned with, especially with the smaller purchase price units, is okay, I'm going to make $2 per unit, $3 per unit, rather than 30%, right? 30% on something that is only $2, $3 is not that intriguing.
All right, good question here. I've been doing OA a lot recently. My main problem is with variations, so that would be like different sizes, different colors, for those of you guys who might not know. How do you know what's selling? They each have an individual Keepa chart for each variation, as well as if you go in within Keepa, this is something a lot of you guys don't do, and I really haven't done. You can look at which of the variations is getting the majority of the reviews, and the ones with more reviews, just you can make an educated decision. Those are probably selling the best, so you'll know what you're selling the best off it too.
Yeah, one thing to be careful with is the sales rank across all the variations isn't going to change, right? So you have to kind of weigh the fact of how many variations based on that sales rank, right? Because a 2,000 ranked item with 200 variations is a whole lot different than a 2001 ranked item with 2 variations, just because those sales are going to be split across all the variations.
And don't think it's typically that complicated. Like it's rare that there's more than like 5 variations. It's mostly for shoes with like a whole bunch of sizes. What's distribution between RA, OA, wholesale last year and target for this year? So last year I didn't do any OA the last 6 months of the year, or any RA the last 6 months of the year, pretty much, besides like some order pickups. So I mean, pretty much like 98%, 99% OA, and hopefully that'll continue. I just really like the low risk nature of it. I'm kind of, carved out a niche, I guess. That might change. That I totally could change. But I'm just enjoying OA right now. So just continue doing that as much as I can.
Miles also doesn't like leaving his house. So there's that.
Yeah, true. Well, who does to go do RA? That's
I mean, facts, yeah.
clearly a lot of people. I mean, it's clearly working for a lot of people. Stored by reviews and ratings by the top. Yes, sir. Can y'all do an ASIN review for a wholesale item? Garrett, what do you think of that? Jay, a lot of people are gonna see this, so like understand that like a lot of people are gonna see that ASIN. So, I mean,
I mean, if you give us an ASIN, we can review it for you.
yeah, they just like a lot of people are gonna see this, so you run the risk of a lot of people seeing it. How often is the OA stuff you order jacked up / expired? Every once in a while, but every store has return policies. So obviously it's a pain, but it's just part of it.
Obviously higher risk when you're purchasing grocery items.
So with from Target, it's not if, it's kind of when, unfortunately. They won't notice if you go back to this. I mean, unless they ban you from a specific store, which it's probably like, I don't know, there might be legal stuff if you end up going back. I have no idea. In terms of accounts, yeah, I mean, try a new account and everything. But Target is very anti-reseller. They've made it very clear. So you obviously run the risk of getting shut down, if you ever try to buy from them.
Will Garrett help Miles get yoked like the Liver King this 2022?
There's instant gratification with RA. Yeah, that's a very good point, Eric. And that instant gratification is very important at the start, which is, once again, like I was mentioning with doing your own prep at the start. It's the same thing. You can feel the products, you can see the data live, you can scan a whole bunch of stuff when you're in the store. And it really, I guess, like humanizes the process, which is very important to get that proof of concept.
Come on, fellas, just give up the ASINs.
Come on, fellas.
I'll get right on that. We'll get right on that. Miles, how did you scale so rapidly in 2021? That's good.
Yeah, it was a combination of, one, having great friends, like Garrett, we were all we still kind of going on some stuff together here and there. And then I guess being smart with capital, reinvesting, getting access to credit lines, taking some risks here and there. I don't know, that might be like a kind of a mundane answer, but that was pretty much it. Finding stuff I can go deep on it.
AMEX helps out a lot.
Would you say you have more brands that you work with over distributors or wholesales or the other way around? Yeah, Garrett, let's hear that. Jay, I can see you're really committed to wholesale. You're bringing out all the good questions tonight.
You say you have more brands that you work with over distributors, wholesalers. Now, so finding brands to work with are a lot more a dime a dozen. What's more often the case is you'll find closeouts, distributors, wholesalers that carry multiple brands. Getting the brand is the cream of the crop, right? You're getting the top of the supply chain. Naturally, once you work your way down the supply chain, as more hands in the profit gets taken out every niche down the supply chain. So it's harder to get that top deal. Also, you're working with people who have equity in the company, right? You're typically, when you're going after the brand, you're dealing with people who potentially started the company, have some sort of equity stake in the company, emotional support in the company. So it's just naturally going to be harder to get those sorts of accounts rather than a wholesaler when you're talking with some sales rep who doesn't necessarily care.
All right, so we have a storm of really good questions coming in, so thank you guys. So keep them coming. Definitely good target for month-over-month growth. Started a new Amazon account with 1K today. Where should you expect to be in 12 months? Completely varies on tons of stuff, how much capital you have access to, which I saw as 1K. If you decide to use credit in the future, depending on your risk tolerance, and how good you are at finding stuff, right? And it goals. Like, it's very dependent on your goals, but definitely, if you learn, which you're doing by being here, thank you. You buy the right stuff, like, you're gonna make money. Definitely, thousands a month totally is not out of the picture.
How do you get the title change on the listing?
Yeah.
Some listings are tougher than others. You won't really have much success with some of the Nike listings just because there's so much traffic going through them. But you typically have to get it approved by like the listing owner, whoever made the listing up front.
How do I find more leads in 2022? TA, leads list. I mean, those are two great ways to do it. The best leads you'll always find are the ones you find your own, but that's oftentimes obviously the hardest because that's where the most money is. When you're placing a ton of OA orders, are you creating ship and inventory lab? No. I mean, I just like as you know they come in and everything.
We create our batches in IL when stuff is going out, right? When we receive it, right? It's prepped, it's ready to go out. That's when we batch it up.
No, Eric, but people totally do. Yeah, like one of my friends told me about baseball cleats. I might buy some of those coming up. What sourcing method is finding the most success when finding profitable products with OA? It's reverse manual sourcing and just like Googling stuff, finding listings that are good, Googling them, trying to find them profitably. Always, if you're newer, tactical expanders are really good. Tactical expander plus tactical arbitrage. And then obviously, I mean, just based on the results we've seen from our leads list, they're a very good source as well. Will AMEX ask for proof of business income? I have no idea.
I mean, they didn't for us, but we could only speak for what we
idea to understate that or misstate it, I would say. Which type of selling item do you think is the most scalable? Whichever one works best for you. Wholesale and private label, just based on like the numbers, but once again, the model you should be looking for is to get proof of concept quick. Like a lot of big wholesale sellers also do private label, you know, but if you're a beginner, asking what's the most scalable probably isn't the best thing because they're not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, just from a logistics perspective, it's got to be either wholesale or private label, just because the quantity available is so much greater than OA or RA or et cetera, right? You can just place a lot larger orders than you would be able to from a store.
I waste a lot of time remembering what store/price I paid for. That's why you have records of that. I mean, that just easily solves it every time after you place an order.
Google Sheets, my friends.
Yeah, how do you overcome the quantity limits? So place multiple orders, use different emails, all that. Trying to keep more organized. Should I cop AMEX Gold? Yeah, AMEX Business Gold's a great card. Do you guys normally go find wholesales or do you reverse search for wholesale items? I don't do wholesale, so Garrett, I mean.
So we do both, right? So I talk about a lot. We use Smart Scout, which is starting with a brand. We go to the brand first, see if we can win that account. If we don't get the brand, then we start spider webbing down, right? We find wholesalers or suppliers that consist of that brand and try and win accounts there. And then we work our way down every tier of the ladder until we inevitably win an account somewhere, and then ultimately see what the margins are at that point.
Yes, and that process is further explained in the Buy Box Bandit podcast episode we did. What's today? Wednesday. So it came out yesterday with Garrett's brother, who handles some of the wholesale sides of their business. So definitely go check that out if you're interested in more wholesale content.
The other way to do it is what you kind of alluded to, is the reverse sourcing method, which you would find a particular product on Amazon that you like, that fits your criteria, etc. Then you go and find suppliers where you can purchase that particular product, either to that brand direct or wholesalers with that product. That works as well. How accurate is Jungle Scout with sales estimator? I mean, it's accurate enough. You don't need something exact.
Yeah. And sales rank is so sporadic that you could check the sales rank on an item, you know, the next day, and it could be different, and then your estimate would be different. So take it with a grain of salt, but it totally is, you know, it is a very helpful, you know, indicator in helping you make educated buying decisions.
The only time when you actually need like a sales estimator is when you're placing a test order, right?
Yeah.
Because once you're selling an item, then you have real-time business data that you can then price for future orders from. If you've been selling an item for 2 months, you can then look at your previous 30 days, see how many you sold, and then obviously place that amount the next time. We use the sales estimator to place that first order.
My bad, man. What revenue sales level is a good time to consider inventory lab? A few thousand in sales, you know, a couple months straight, probably, you know, or like 2 months straight. You know, once you're committed to actually doing this long term and building out processes that will make stuff much more efficient, that'll save you, you know, dozens of hours, hundreds of hours in the future.
Danny, yo, come in, Danny.
It's at the airport.
Oh, that's right.
Credit card, business accounts. So it kind of depends, and this is purely speaking from my experience. Chase limits will be lower, but the rewards are better, and AMEX limits are much higher, but the rewards are a little worse. So it kind of depends on whether you're looking to optimize, you know, 10,000 a month in spend, or if you're looking for 50,000 a month in spend, and less rewards. But obviously, the value gained from the extra spend totally outweighs.
I mean, we know people that are very successful that use both cards. We use AMEX.
I use AMEX with hopes of getting chase cards too. Is the Lego Ungate in the Discord working for people? Yeah, man. You can go order off Lego keychains and probably get ungated at like in the next 12 hours because they send the invoice instantly. At least they did when I did it. It gets tedious considering inventory lab. Okay, yeah. I mean, if you're at the point where you're doing that type of work, yeah, probably I would go ahead and get it. And you can, I'm pretty sure the inventory lab free trial is like a month long. So that's good.
It's such a game changer. Like it provides analytics on your business. It just allows you to list quicker. It just makes
saved up 7,000 to throw in this Amazon project. That's about 6,000 more than I would recommend at the start. But really kudos to you. I mean, definitely I would not spend any money on any of that stuff at the start, although maybe a TA free trial, and I would just go ahead and get started as quick as possible. If you're the type of person that can save up $7,000 to go into this, probably the type of person that'll be pretty successful with this. So really kudos to you, but I'd say you were ready a long time ago, so you should go ahead and get started as soon as possible. And I do also want to mention first time publicly, course will be coming out soon, probably the next month or so. So yeah, I guess be on the lookout for that. I'm super, super excited with that. That's going to help hopefully a couple thousand people this year. Everyone go subscribe to Buybox Bandits. Absolutely go subscribe to Buybox Bandits YouTube. TA or seller. It really depends on what you're looking for, and they're also not mutually exclusive. But it kind of like depends on what exactly.
Yeah, we don't use seller, we use TA. But I mean, just like Miles said, they're not mutually exclusive.
Directly to the U.S. warehouse? I don't think so, unless you're on an Amazon U.S. account shipping to a prep center, getting it shipped from the U.S.
Yeah, you would need a prep center. It also keeps track. Last year I did LA pretty much. I have some employees last year. I had only one, or I did 90K sales last year. My goal is to do 220.
So good work on getting those sales numbers. That's really good. In order to know how much you want to get in sales, you need to reverse engineer how much you need to spend to do that. So if your cost of goods is 40% of your revenue, then to get that 200K in revenue, you need to do 80K. You need to spend 80K on inventory, right? My brain is just expanding with the math. Might not even be right.
Yeah. So go into your inventory.
Yep. Yeah. So go. I didn't mean to interrupt. Yeah, you have obviously good.
Go into your inventory lab. They'll give you the last 30 or 60 days of your report. You want to take the ratio of your buy cost to revenue, right? That's going to be 42%, 47%, whatever that percent is. You want to figure that out for either your trailing 30, 60, or 90 days in your business. Take that percentage and, like Miles was saying, multiply that by your goal, right? So if you say your goal is 200,000, if your ratio of cost of goods sold to revenue is 40%, then that's going to put you at, I think 80K is what you need to be spending. I may have butchered that math, but somewhere around there.
Okay, so you spent 8K today, so that's amazing. So hopefully that's very good inventory and that'll sell through. But don't want to go overboard. You can never source too much good profitable inventory as long as the demand is there for those items. Any good ways to inject some cash into the business without using credit cards? I mean, transfer, like if you have money. I mean, yeah, like loans and stuff, I guess. But once again, that's purely based on your risk tolerance, not telling.
Yeah, so I mean, Amazon offers loans once you get to a certain account health and set an account standard. There's other private investors you can go with, but yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah. What do you guys for bookkeeping, supply, subscription? So all my stuff goes through business cards, so it's really easy to track just based on the statement. But just trying to really be good with accounting this year. I also keep Google Sheets of it, and then going to get set up with QuickBooks as well. But really trying to be good on that this year because I've really been bad about it in the past. Do you reverse search with TA or manually? I like to do manually, but if you're newer, if you want someone listening who's newer, definitely do it with TA. But also just, experiment searching manually as well. But it's easier doing it with TA, but you're going to make more money doing it manually if you're good at it. That actually takes a lot of practice.
Yeah, we actively do both. Our VAs are trained to do both for product search, reverse search, and manually.
All right, go over the math again. All right, Garrett, break down the math on reverse engineering your goals. So this is the way you should be setting goals, at least in my opinion, with Amazon. If you and Garrett, get the lighting better so I can make a clip of this and put it on my channel. All right, give him one side. I just this is a very good. This is a very good breakdown here.
That's a little better. It's not bad.
Oh, it's a lot better. So this is how you should be setting goals if you're, or at least in my opinion, if you want to, do good numbers on Amazon or just in general. You can control how much you spend on inventory. You can't control what sells. You can make educated buy decisions, look at keyword charts and all that. But the input you can directly control that then creates the output of profit, sales, growth of business is what you spend on inventory. So Garrett, break down kind of the equation we like for going over that.
Yeah, so Inventory Lab makes it super simple. So if you download your FBA sales, if you do merchant fulfilled and FBA, you'll have to download both Excel sheets. But if you download the either 30-day or 60-day trailing FBA sales Excel sheet, there's two columns that you're looking for. There's an item price column, which is going to be what you sell your products for.
You can just go to the profit and loss and pull the cost of goods sold off that too, like total.
Yeah. However you get to the numbers, you need how much you spent on your inventory, and you need the corresponding sales for that inventory. You divide them. You put your buy cost over your revenue, and you're going to get some sort of percentage, which is a ratio of how much you're spending to how many sales you're earning. Whether that's 40%, 50%, 45%, whatever that is, that's going to be your weighting factor that you can then reverse engineer your sales to get your buy cost. That is your input to your business, right? So say your goal is to do 100,000 in January. If your weighting factor is 42%, that's your ratio of buy cost to sales, then you multiply the 42% by the 100,000, and that's going to be telling you that you need $42,000 to spend that month in order to theoretically earn 100,000 in sales.
And that'll be a little lag getting inventory sold and everything. But yeah, basically, so for me, what I'm doing this year, I tweeted this out earlier, is I don't have a sales goal or a profit goal. I have a spend goal, and on my sheet where I input all my buy costs, I have the total I've spent this year and the percentage of that of my spend goal. So I'm knowing that I'm only spending money on good, at least what I think is good inventory, and once that sells through, I'll make money. So as I can spend as much, I was totally screwing that up there, but I have a goal to spend a lot on inventory, and that'll create the profit that I'm then wanting. So just reverse engineering that and controlling the inputs you can control. Inventory spend creates the output you want, profit, sales, and all that. But definitely a good breakdown there.
We can't stress enough that there's a tangible difference between what you can control and what you can't control. Obviously, looking at your sales number is great, but we ultimately have no control over that sales number, whether we do 2,000 today or 7,000. What we can control, what we can actively control, is how much we're spending each day, and that's ultimately what dictates the growth of your business.
Did you use investors or Amazon loans? I pretty much just use credit cards, to be honest. Do you use credit to buy inventory? Absolutely. That might not be good for you. You gotta, decide your risk tolerance on that. I'm actually an Amazon driver right now and selling on Amazon. That's synergy right there. Leadless categories, typically beauty, grocery, mainly some toys here and there. But definitely those predominantly the three, I would think, or I do think from my experience looking at them. I used to drive for Amazon as well, get both ends. Yep, half shadows. I was low-key thinking the same thing, Ken. Yeah, exactly. So Matt, yep, exactly what I said. Anyone from Michigan in the chat? I'm sure there are in the Discord, so you should check in the Discord if there's anyone from around you in Michigan. Which subscription you guys use for Be Cool? I think it's $100 a month AI version.
Whatever the AI price is.
Very worth it. Yep. I'm soaking up what you're spitting. Pause on that, but glad we're giving out good information. You better have clipped this breakdown and need to watch that again. Yeah, I have the timestamps. And I think I screwed it up, and StreamYard's not going to record this one, but it will be on the channel, and hopefully I can download the video.
I'm pretty sure I have a video on my Instagram
from almost a year ago. Yeah, you should just repost it, to be honest. It's very valuable.
Yeah, so for everyone in this chat right now, I'm going to put something on my story, essentially walking through that breakdown of that calculation.
And we got another good question here from Jay. Jay's killing it. It's great to see how committed you are to the wholesale stuff, man. I'm sure it's going to work out for you.
Do you go for any wholesalers that actually list price without an account, or do you just go for the wholesalers that don't? Oh, that's a good question, right? So the bigger the barrier of entry for the account, the better off and the more potential, the better chance that that account will be profitable, right? So if any Joe Schmo can go on a wholesaler's account and download a price sheet, chances are it's not going to be profitable because thousands of other people can do that same thing. If what it takes to get that account is you have to call, you have to negotiate prices, you have to win them over, right? The more you do to separate yourself and to earn the account, the better off you are, right? If they are just sending you an Excel spreadsheet that they send to hundreds of other sellers, well, chances are it's not going to be great, right? But the more individualized your experience is, the better off you are. So like, but oftentimes if you're not dealing with a sales rep, if you can just go to their website and look at the prices, the odds are not in your favor that you're going to be able to find profitable stuff there.
At what point do you recommend a repricer? A very good question. So for example, our friend MN Hollow, who we just had on the podcast, who I think is in here right now, I saw it earlier. He was spending a lot of time during the day repricing, and he's making good income off Amazon. He's going to continue to keep growing that. I have no doubt in my mind. But if he's spending 20 minutes a day, that is totally worth, that ends up being, several hours a month that depending on what he values his time at, he can totally get that back by putting $100 a month into Be Cool. You know what I mean? So definitely a few thousand in sales. And at the point where you're actively repricing stuff on your own, it's taking up time. And the repricer's just, it's working for you 24/7. So it's going to be better than you are at repricing just based on the output of work it has.
Yeah.
Do you guys look at estimated monthly sales? Not particularly. I'm more so focused on Keepa and occasionally buy box statistics, but never go deep on a product without placing a test order. You can even like merchant fulfill it just to get some proof of concept if you're going to go deep on something.
Tips for dealing with customer service.
That is a very good question. Customer service, you can get a VA to do it. I'm pretty sure I don't, but I'm pretty sure Romer does. But just, once a day, go in and check. And then stranded inventory. Garrett, what are your thoughts on this? I'm not too good with it.
So there's only really two. If you can fix it, sometimes Amazon will let you rectify the problem with that inventory, and then you could put it back to active. But oftentimes you'll have to file a removal order, whether that be having it destroyed by Amazon, which you have to pay for, or paying for shipping to have it back to you to relist. Right. So either you can fix it and make it active again, you pay Amazon to destroy it if you don't want to sell it anymore, or you have it sent back to you. Those are your three options. How much time a week would you guys say you honestly put into Amazon selling? Before I built a team out.
So I want to preface this. If you're asking how much time a week, and you're just asking us. Like tons of time each day. Like if you want to make full-time money, at least you build out systems, employees, whatever. But you got to put a lot of time into, right? That's with anything, from my experience. But I've noticed the people who ask like how much, I want to only put in 2 hours a week or whatever, 2 hours a day, like those people, it doesn't end up working out for typically. But I'm not saying that's you or, or anyone watching, but if you want to make a lot of money, you're going to have to put in time.
Yeah. If you want to make life-changing money, you got to do stuff people aren't willing to do. That's work a lot.
Most people never create an account, like not to single anyone out, but I know there's people watching this. We have 57 people watching this. I bet half of you guys haven't even created an account yet. I promise you I'm not just a talking head on the internet. This stuff works. You can make money with it. And I have no financial, I'm not selling you anything. I have no, I have no financial interest in you doing it. I just know that if you do want to apply, totally can. But I never use a repricer. That's actually really impressive. That means that you are buying good. Like you're buying stuff that was moving.
I can't tell that I might actually get one this year. I spent too much. Yeah, it's another calculation, right? How much you value your time. You take that number, evaluate how much you are repricing each week, and do that calculation. That works with everything, whether it's. Yeah.
So how long do you ride it? Well, I'm not going to buy more if I'm not getting sales. But yeah, you can lower the price. That obviously helps. But in terms of like repurchasing, if it's not moving, and you can tell like based on the buy box statistics, who's getting sales based on the competitive pricing. and to keep us seeing the demand. But yeah, that's kind of like a more so just kind of how you perceive stuff. Is not really a good answer on that, in my opinion. Already did that. In arbitrage, first I need to buy product. In arbitrage, first I need yes. So you need to get stuff to Amazon unless you're merchant filling. Do you want a credit card that? So me specifically, I don't. Because I don't want that utilization showing. I have a trusted VA for 8 months, training to help me purchase. Tips. Well, if you've had them for 8 months,
I don't get the question. Training to help me purchase. Are they training you to help I don't.
That's cool if so.
I have a trusted VA
a
for
lot
8
of
months.
VAs that are really, really good at sourcing.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what that.
What's
So I
the
just have some invoices to get
submit
ungated,
the
right?
invoices and get ungated. Go to add the product, and then it'll ask you to apply. Upload the PDF of the invoice. Had my Walmart account closed for abusing returns. You know, I think at some point on another stream we had someone else that ran into the same thing. But I mean, make a new one. I'm pretty sure Warner, something like that happened with Warner. So yeah.
So we actually don't look at ROI at all. We look at gross margin, which we're
Yeah,
shooting for at
I'm
least
the opposite.
15%.
I'm focused way more on ROI.
Yeah, so I could care less about ROI. We look at bottom line profit, so 15%, and then at least $5 profit per item. That's what we go for. For arbitrage, I need to first buy the cheap product and then host them on Amazon, or can I list the product I found cheap plus expenses?
No, so you can't drop ship because you're not going to be able to ship stuff quick enough, and you won't be able to FBA stuff.
Yeah, so it's an inventory-based business.
Yeah, between 10 and 50, depending on the competition and like your confidence in the listing. But yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with 10 or 20 units, you know, and that kind of thing. And even if it's a wholesale product, you can see if you can find a retail. And even if you pay more just for a test order, assuming they have it.
That's a really good point.
Such as grocery, I find margins are good, but profit is too low for me to prep myself. That's exactly a case that you would do it. But you also, like grocery stuff tends, you know, stuff's easy to prep. So you consider going deeper in that stuff potentially. Got to get the likes up on this live. That's facts, man. Everyone hit the like.
Where are we at?
I don't know.
Do you know if I will still get tax exemption if I open another account, even if it's
yeah, that's a good question. I would look on your state website or talk to whoever you're.
That's a CPA question if you ask me.
Yeah, no idea.
I am training my sourcing VA to take over purchasing. Do you know if I can use LastPass to share my credit card?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. I know you could probably create a virtual credit card for them to use, card or something like that, with a spend limit or something. But I don't know. There's obviously always a risk with that kind of thing. I don't know.
I mean, 8 months is a long time. If not, I mean, I guess this is.
I don't know. I would feel terrible, you know, if some, you know.
Yeah, we
it's
get
tough to give control, and I don't think I could give a control for that.
You guys use TA or manual sourcing? So we have a sourcing team that does it all for us, and they do both. They do TA, they do manual. They're pretty good.
All right, so we've been on for a good 40 minutes, and there's 50 of you in here, so really, really thank you guys. We're gonna be on a lot more of these in the future, but any final questions you guys have, let us know.
Tax orders, thank you guys. These lives are always great. Appreciate it.
Ken, thank you for being in here for a while. Thank you for all the good questions. We really, really appreciate that. And as always, you know, if you guys want to get notified when we're live, make sure you're in the Discord.
If you aren't subscribed to BBB yet, go subscribe. Tuesdays and Fridays every week. We are dropping new interviews, episodes, whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna comment in the chat from the BBB account so everyone can go check it out if you are interested.
We'll be having Eric and Sebastian from Amazon Lit on. We'll be having Watch Me Amazon on, Larry Lamarski.
I mean, hopefully, none of those guys have confirmed, but hopefully.
They all said they wanted to, though.
Out of nowhere, the Buy Box Bandit account is in these comments here, so to make it easy.
Oh, snap.
to hire a VA, is it best to perfect sourcing yourself? So Julian, I know you've been doing this for a while and have had some success, so probably a good time for you too. But you know, you can't hire someone to do something until you can do it yourself, at least to, you know, assess it as you should. Yo, thanks guys, absolutely. Vanera. Any idea what are the first categories you can start? I'm waiting for my account to start. Go to your local thrift store and scan all the books. Very low entry way to get into it. There's also a ton of clearance right now, so you can go check out like Walmart toy clearance. You will have to get a gator for that. It's very easy to.
Officially ungated and Nike and Lego.
Good work. Good work, Randy. Absolutely. Very, very good work there. Lots of super helpful info in this. Absolutely. Keep Twitter alerts alive with coming. All right, will do, Eric. Thanks for being in here, and thanks to everyone from Twitter. Gonna hire for the I mean, check their reviews. Definitely, you know, their Google reviews.
If you live in like PA, Delaware, New Jersey, New York, I could probably hook you up with one. Let me know if you live in Jersey.
Much love. Absolutely. Seems like y'all have so in terms of, yeah, like obviously constant looking for new items, but having a catalog of, you know, items you can purchase again and again are good. But yeah, still, you know, helping with accounting, prepping, although there's a lot that goes into it, but at the same time, you know, a lot worse ways to make money. But yeah, I'm gonna head out now. Make sure you subscribe to Buy Box Bandits, and really thank you guys for being here. This was a really, really good first stream of the year, and many more to come. So see you guys.